Hi, today I'll share my thoughts on what I'll call the harvest. That last pull in uprooting a weed that was deeply rooted is painful and requires a lot of effort to not give up or become discouraged when it seems like it's not being removed. Sometimes the ground is too dry and it needs a bit of watering in order to loosen the soil. My tears are enough as I console the past self for what it had to go through. I feel compassion for that self that thought it deserved harsh treatment. It's being purged out of me, the new me. With those tears, the root is becoming easier for me to lift up, and my soil is being cleared, and it's good, fertile ground, ready for the planting of my new seeds. Thoughts like, I deserve compassion, kindness, gentleness, mercy, love, care, appreciation, and loving support. I accept this as part of my healing process. I keep quiet and process my experience. It appears that I'm reacting because of my tears, hurt, and everything that the old self is purging. But I don't allow a word to exit my mouth. No interacting with anyone during this time. It's just the old passing away. I repeat Allah's promise to myself as I try my hardest not to lose hope. It's Ramadan, a month of blessings, and this feels like the opposite. It hurts. I've worked so hard these 2 previous months. Wasn't I obedient to your call? I ask. It feels like my harvest isn't coming. I cry. I know this is beyond my understanding and that it must be good for me. This experience is a blessing because I'm healing and changing, giving myself the love that I need and deserve. I rebuke those thoughts that want to blame the other for attacking me. I refrain from wishing harm upon them, wanting revenge, and feeling angry. I just apologize to myself for allowing myself to be treated that way. The thoughts that I created that pushed myself and didn't respect my limitations. I, in this moment, give myself that love and care that I always needed. And I am understanding of my limitations, and I thank myself for doing the best that I can. I'm now going to share the language of harvesting, and this is supported by a blog post by Carol J. Mitchell, or Michael, and she refers to the harvest including certain terms, very specific terms that are different from one another, such as when you have to pick your fruit or you're plucking some leaves, pull, your digging, your gathering, and your overall harvest. And when I think of harvest, I automatically just think of picking. That's what I visualized when I knew Ramadan is coming and I'm to receive my blessings. I was so excited. I'm just imagining abundance that I'll be picking and I'll have more and more to enjoy. It's, where I can get some of the fruit or some of the vegetable and the plant stays intact to produce more and more, right? I didn't think of pulling and digging where it's like you get it once and then that's it. I would have to then replant it in order to receive more of that that I pulled up. If, I want more of that, say potatoes, right? So I was expecting my harvest to show up immediately once Ramadan officially began. I knew that I consciously worked during the months of Rajab and Sha'ban. And so I was expecting something completely different this Ramadan. I wanted to be mind blown. I thought it would be bigger and more obvious from what I'm used to. And, when it comes to blessings, but it was kind of the same. I started to get a little worried that maybe I did something wrong or it wasn't enough during those previous months. Then I noticed a root that needed to be pulled. It took some effort. My tears loosened the dirt and made it easier for the release. But I see it was still deep. I realized that I needed to dig it up, not just pull on the stem. The digging required a different kind of effort that was somehow easier because I used a tool instead of my hands. Up it came. My potatoes. They were sweet potatoes. Yes, they were all covered in dirt and required a good washing. I comforted myself through the struggle of the harvest and received my blessing. Alhamdulillah. I now present it to you, dear listener. Sometimes our limited view on what a blessing is supposed to look like can prevent us from enjoying the bounty that is ours to claim. We must be patient through each struggle, hurdle, and storm in order to reap its blessing. Because God's promise is true. He never breaks his promise. So continue to believe that every single moment is occurring for your greater good. Pray for guidance, support, and continue to develop your ears to hear and eyes to see. Happy harvesting. Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you for listening.